Go ahead and set the quality here. Okay, yeah, so it might actually be my end where with this, but yeah, I'll go ahead and just skip this intro video just to, again, free up some time, and holy fuck is this loud.
Welcome to my kitchen. I hope all of you are staying safe.
Welcome to my kitchen. What a way to start an event.
An amazing GPU today. Modern GPUs are technology marvels. It is the engine of large industries from design, cloud AI to scientific computing. But it is the gamers and their insatiable demand that is the driving force of the GPU. Pulling their GPUs to create the largest distributed computer ever. 1 million gamers united to counterstrike the COVID-19 coronavirus. The result was 2.8 exaflops.
Damn.
5 times the processing power.
I actually participated in that with Folding at Home. Not on NVIDIA's team, though.
Folding at Home was able to simulate 100 milliseconds, a tenth of a second in the life of the coronavirus, and captured the moment it opens its mouth to infect a human cell. Scientists believe this is also its moment of weakness. Thank you all for joining this historic fight. We're going to talk about computer graphics and the work we're doing to push the boundaries. We love computer graphics and have advanced it incredibly in the time of NVIDIA. As the technology advanced, the expressiveness of the medium has made graphics an invaluable tool to help us understand our world, create and explore new worlds, tell stories that inspire us. From science...
Hey, image courtesy of Lucasfilm and Pixar.
Has made a profound impact on the world, and for that, we are privileged to have contributed. We're going to talk about gaming and the infinite...
Well, no shit.
GeForce PC gaming is large and thriving. It's open and rapidly advancing technology, combined with the amazing creativity...
But yeah, I will say, with this one, I did get a tiny bit spoiled, because I saw, basically, people talking about the price, and let's just say, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be buying one of these anytime soon.
Friends stream to friends just to hang out. There are over 20 million streamers. Games have become a new art.
I'll just say, if you're in the market for a GPU right now, you'd best be buying used.
Machinima artists create cinematics made from game assets. Tens of millions are using games to express their creativity. Inside a computer simulation, any sport can become esport. Virtual NASCAR and F1 are already attracting top racers. Like sports, esports captures the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and the human drama of athletic competition. Esports is on its way to be the biggest sport. I have something special for all the GeForce gamers around the world. 4 gifts. I hope you like them, and you'll find new ways to game. First, big news. Fortnite is turning RTX on.
God damn it.
Now Minecraft and Fortnite, the #1 and #2 most played games in the world.
Of course, Fortnite's one of the big announcements.
Get ray trace shadows, reflections, ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2. These effects...
I mean, to be fair, I'm not surprised they're adding ray tracing, considering that's one of the big things with, like, the next engine.
The last one with Travis Scott...
With Unreal Engine 5, so, yeah.
Epic made a trailer for you. Let's play it now.
Let's go!
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna, save some time and just skip the Fortnite trailer because I could care less about Fortnite.
75% of GeForce gamers play esports. Esports is a game of milliseconds. Reaction time is a combination of the gamer and the machine. Let me explain. This is Valorant. In this example, the opponent...
But yeah, this should help catch up to some of the time missed, because, see,
for only 100
already 5 minutes in and 6 minutes past my estimated time, so I'm like 1 minute off.
Milliseconds from photon to action. You can only hit this opponent if your PC adds less than 30 milliseconds. Most gamers have latencies far greater than 30 milliseconds, many up to 100 milliseconds. Today we're announcing a new esports technology called NVIDIA Reflex. NVIDIA Reflex optimizes the rendering pipeline across CPU and GPU to reduce latency by up to 50%. In September, we're releasing Reflex with our game-ready driver. Over 100 million...
So I'm assuming it reduces latency, but you're gonna end up getting less frame rate or something.
Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, and Destiny 2 will be the first to integrate Reflex technology.
Well, I mean, I guess if it's going to get on a great game level.
For you, we're announcing an insanely fast and beautiful display. A 360Hz G-Sync display designed for esports. This display has a built-in precision latency analyzer. Just connect your mouse. The NVIDIA 3...
I mean, and I will say, though, about exercise, like,
are arriving.
You know, you may not technically be like really intense exercise, but I'm sure you would get a tiny bit of a workout from how hard you have to flick your arm and shit. So like, yeah.
And 360 hertz display.
360 hertz.
Immediately,
goddamn.
360 hertz display will help you target and track an opponent. For the 20 million live streamers, we have something really cool for you. NVIDIA Broadcast turns any room into a broadcast studio. NVIDIA Broadcast runs AI algorithms trained by deep learning on NVIDIA's DGX supercomputer.
Oh, hey, so the green screen thing's finally done.
Like audio noise removal. Virtual.
They literally showed this, like, I think 2 years ago at CES at an OBS booth or something.
These AI
and it's like, it actually works really damn good.
And runs on any RTX GPU.
But yeah, there's the catch.
Will now show you.
It only on RTX, which sucks.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon, and I'm very excited today to talk to you about our NVIDIA Broadcast app. Like many of you, I've been home a lot more lately. I've been video conferencing all day and then gaming and streaming all
I wonder how artificial the RTX thing is, though, because they previously released like a noise cancellation thing that was also RTX only. You just had to change one line in the installer to allow it to install, and it worked perfectly fine.
So I asked my girlfriend to join me with a blow.
And I guess that app's being merged with this, so.
That distracting sound makes it very hard to understand what I'm saying.
It actually works really damn good.
NVIDIA Broadcast.
Yeah.
You find that it's completely gone, and that blow dryer is still going. But NVIDIA Broadcast isn't just awesome audio features. There's some really exciting video features as well. Let's take a look. First up, we have the ability to blur your background, which you may notice that I need because I have a very cluttered and messy room. But when I turn this background blur feature on, all of a sudden I get this really classy effect, and I can adjust the strength of that from low to high and everything in between.
Yeah, I will say I actually am surprised how well it does work.
Replace the background altogether.
It's like definitely way better than like the background replacements on like Zoom and stuff.
It's that easy. Or if I want to jump into some gameplay, I can remove the background altogether and jump into some Valorant. And now I'm playing with a green screen effect without actually having to have one at home. I don't have to play good, but at least I can look good. Now sometimes when I'm video conferencing or doing a just chatting stream, I want to zoom in to get a more personal connection with the audience. But the problem is I bounce around so much, it's easy for my head to get out of frame. With the auto frame feature, it's like having your own...
Okay, that's a bit too shaky, but...
So, if for example, I wanted to...
But I mean, that is useful, though.
And show it to everybody.
They definitely need to smooth out the shakiness, though.
I just find NVIDIA Broadcast to be really exciting, as both a streamer and a...
But I really do hope that the hack to make it work on non-RTX does actually work with that.
And keep yourself in the center of the...
Obviously, I wouldn't be able to use it because I don't have a camera, but...
And I just can't wait for you guys to try it.
A new form of art has emerged from gaming called machinima. Artists are using game assets to create cinematics.
A new form of art. It's been around since like 2000s, so...
Some are even recreating entire classic movies. It's becoming a whole new art genre.
I wouldn't say that's a new form.
I'm going to show you an app that will make these cinematics amazing. It's called NVIDIA Omniverse Machinima. It's an app built on our Omniverse 3D workflow collaboration platform.
It's, I mean, things like fucking Red versus Blue and shit have existed for fucking years, like,
the viewer,
you know.
On photorealistic path tracing. The engine is designed to be physically accurate, simulating light, physics, material, and artificial intelligence. We have connectors for most third-party design tools, like 3ds Max, Maya, Photoshop, Epic Unreal, Rhino, and many more. The Machinima app brings in elements and assets from games, and third-party collections like TurboSquid, and lets you mix and compose them into a cinematic. Creators can use their webcam to drive our AI-based post-estimator to animate.
But so basically it sounds like pretty much an NVIDIA version of Steam's, what the fuck is it called?
Make materials physically accurate.
God, why can't I think what it's called? It's like named after a Valve game. It's their video editor thing.
NVIDIA Omniverse Machinima. Beta in October.
Source Filmmaker, that's what it is. Yeah. It's basically Source Filmmaker, but with any engine.
We started with assets from Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord. You're gonna love this.
Okay, I'll go ahead and skip this too, because just showing, look at me that. And yeah, you definitely tell the stuff is, you know, a bit lagging here too, but it's good enough. It's not like really bad like the previous things were.
Since NVIDIA researcher Turner Whitted first published his paper on ray tracing, Computer science researchers have chased this dream to create super realistic virtual worlds with real-time ray tracing. NVIDIA, seeing the ultimate limits of rasterization approaching, focused intense efforts over the past 10 years to realize real-time ray tracing on a large...
Also, I just realized, he says it's come from his kitchen. I wonder if it's actually come from his kitchen, or if it's a green screen, or using the broadcast background removal thing.
NVIDIA RTX is a full-stack invention. RTX starts with a brand new GPU architecture, but it is so much more. It includes new engine tech and a bunch of new rendering algorithms. RTX is a home run. All major 3D APIs have been extended for RTX. RTX is supported by all major 3D tools. RTX tech is incorporated into all major game engines. There are hundreds of games in development, and thousands of research papers of new rendering and AI algorithms enabled by RTX. The RTX GPU has three fundamental processors: the programmable shader that we first introduced over 15 years ago, RT Core to accelerate the ray triangle and ray bounding box intersections, an AI processing pipeline called Tensor Core. Tensor Core accelerates linear algebra that is used for deep neural network processing, the foundation of modern AI. AI is the most powerful technology force of our time. Computers that learn from data and write software that no humans can. The advances are nothing short of breathtaking. NVIDIA is doing groundbreaking work in this area. You might have seen our work in self-driving cars and robotics. Computer graphics and gaming will also be revolutionized by deep learning. Let me show you some recent works and the art of the possible. The first video is a generative adversarial network that has learned to synthesize virtual characters of any artistic genre, including photorealistic.
That's actually kind of cool.
Is a neural network that animates a 3D face directly from voice.
You require more Vespine gas. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
God damn it.
The AI character can speak in any language, be any gender, and even rap and sing. Third is a characterless...
I was about to say, good thing they didn't demonstrate the rapping.
Imagine negotiating arbitrary paths and obstacles. The fourth is reconstructing 3D from video. Imagine the possibilities. Record video, interact in 3D. This one is a deep learning model that learned the physics behavior of cloth animation. Finally, this deep learning model of ray tracing can predict colors of missing pixels, so that fewer rays need to be cast and fewer pixels need to be fully rendered. We can achieve orders of magnitude speedups. AI is certain to play a giant role in the future of computer graphics and gaming. The powerful Tensor Cores and RTX GPUs will let us do AI in real time. One of the first major AI computer graphics breakthroughs is DLSS. Here's the challenge. Real-time ray tracing is far more beautiful but requires a lot more computation per pixel than rasterization. So the solution is to ray trace fewer pixels and use AI on Tensor Cores to up-res to super-res to a higher resolution and boost frame rate.
Yeah, I've seen examples of DLSS, and yeah, it's actually pretty impressive. Like, a 1440p upscale to 4K can sometimes be even more high quality than actual 4K. It's kind of nuts.
Downloaded into your driver. At runtime, DLSS 2.0 takes in low-resolution, aliased image and motion vector of the current frame.
It's actually pretty impressive upscaling.
Frame to generate a high-resolution current frame. I think DLSS is one of our biggest breakthroughs in the last 10 years. Take a look at these images of Death Stranding, the latest game by Kojima-san. DLSS is sharper than native 4K and created detail from AI that native rendering didn't even show. And the frame rate is higher.
I will say this is definitely a time when I wish that I had, I wasn't streaming this because I could watch on 2x speed and get through all this boring, slow talk.
Tensor Core effectively gives RTX a 2x performance boost. Let's look at one frame trace of a game to see the processors of RTX in action. Adding ray tracing to games dramatically increases the computation workload. Using shaders to do ray traversal and object intersection reduces the frame rate. We added the RT Core, which reduces shader workload by 60%. RT Core offloads the shaders by doing the ray triangle and ray bounding box intersection calculations. Using the same methodology as Microsoft Xbox, the RT Core is effectively a 34 teraflop shader, and Turing has an equivalent of 45 teraflops while ray tracing. Even with RT Core,
I find it interesting that they compared it to Xbox there.
So RT core and shaders have to run concurrently. Even then, 20 milliseconds is only 50 frames per second, and still a step back in performance relative to previous generations. This is where the Tensor Core and DLSS come in. Rendering to a lower resolution, then using AI and super fast Tensor Core to effectively double frame rate. Now you can get ray tracing, get high resolution,
Almost double.
and high frame rate at the same time.
You're too off.
That's the magic of the 3 processors of RTX. Turing was our first generation RTX GPU, combining ray tracing, programmable shading, and AI. The flagship Turing had a ton of processing power, 11 shader teraflops, 34 RT teraflops, and 89 tensor teraflops. Let me show you our new RTX GPU. Ampere is a giant leap in performance. Ampere does 2 shader calculations per clock versus 1 on Turing.
Damn.
30 shader teraflops compared to 11. Ampere doubles ray triangle intersection throughput. Ampere's RT core delivers 58 RT teraflops compared to Turing's 34. And Ampere's new Tensor Core automatically identifies and removes less important DNA weights. And the new Tensor Core hardware processes the sparse network at twice the rate of Turing. 238 tensor flops compared to 89. Ladies and gentlemen, NVIDIA's new Ampere GPU, our second generation RTX, 28 billion transistors built on Samsung 8N NVIDIA custom process.
Yeah, I will say that's going to be the interesting thing. They're switching to Samsung set TMSC, and apparently the Samsung ones had way worse heat, which is why it's so expensive, supposedly.
Performance scaling is over.
And it needs like a massive fucking cooler.
2 times the performance and energy efficiency of Turing. At NVIDIA, we use every engineering lever to squeeze every drop of performance out of the system. From architecture, custom process design.
At least that's going on rumors. I don't know if it's true, though, but you know.
Custom SerDes I/O, memory, power, and thermal design, PCB design, software and algorithms. Thousands of engineers per generation, billions of dollars. Full stack engineering and extreme craftsmanship is the hallmark of our GPUs.
I saw that Grub Boot Manager there.
Energy efficiency and low power are all world class. And real application performance highlights Ampere's new RT core. The more ray tracing is done, the greater the Ampere speed up. Ampere RT core doubles ray intersection processing. It's ray tracing.
I love how every single other game is the exact same because the graph, like, that's kind of a terrible graph. It's only just relative performance. That's 2x faster.
Let's take a look at Ampere in action. At our kitchen GTC a few months ago, we showed Marbles, the world's first fully path-traced, photorealistic real-time graphics. It was running on our highest-end Turing Quadro RTX 8000. Turing was doing 720p, 25 frames per second. Today, we're going to run an enhanced version of Marbles with even more special effects, and it is running at 1440p, 30 frames per second, over 4 times the performance. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Marbles at night.
Let's see here. Okay, so we got about 20 minutes left, and so we should be good without doing any more skips, I think. But yeah, I will say this definitely does look impressive. Although it's still only being 1440p, you know, and being 30 FPS, it's kind of. I mean, you know, it's way better than 720p at like 20 frames per second, but like, it still seems like maybe they should have, instead of going 1440p, maybe gone like 1080p and tried to target 60 or something.
Is entirely path traced, no rasterization, all real time.
I will say it does look pretty damn good.
Hundreds of area lights, including spherical area lights. There's no pre-baking, everything is dynamic.
And of course, the fact that they made everything dark and more lights, you know, definitely shows it would take more. It's getting more performance while being more intensive at the same time. So
Everything is dynamic. Diffused GI, all dynamic. There are hundreds of rigid bodies, 80 million triangles. Materials are physically accurate, physics simulation and volumetric rendering in real time.
but of course, you know, this is not really that good of a demo though, because like, you know, it's not a game. Obviously, no, it's not gonna, you know,
DLSS 2.0.
you know, once you add all game logic and shit, then well, you know, it's gonna be way worse. I was about to say, is that a fucking bust to the fucking CEO's head? Like, god damn it.
Let's compare
Yeah.
Marvel's Turing and Marvel's Ampere. You can see dramatic visual quality jump of Ampere. Marbles on Turing runs at 720p 25 frames per second. Marbles on Ampere runs at 1440p 30 frames per second, more than 4 times the performance. And Ampere even did area lights and depth of field. A giant performance leap. Today's games are giant worlds, indoor and out, with photogrammetry, dense
100 copies of Crisis, that's a great comparison.
200 gigabytes and getting bigger. This is like 50,000 songs or 400 hours of streaming video. Games have pushed PCIO.
It's like, yeah, imagine running 100 copies of Crisis at once. That would be nuts.
Compress the game image. This is fine when the storage system was slow, 50 to 100 megabytes per second. Now with Gen 4 PCI Express and solid-state drives, PCs can transfer data at 7 gigabytes per second, 100 times faster. CPU copying data to memory and decompressing game images is now the bottleneck. Decompressing data from 100 megabytes per second hard drives takes only a few CPU cores. However, decompressing from 7 gigabytes per second SSDs on PCIe Gen 4 takes over 20 CPU cores.
Damn.
Today, we're announcing NVIDIA RTX I/O with 3 new advances. New I/O APIs for fast loading and streaming directly from...
Okay, so that's another thing. Supports Microsoft Direct Storage for Windows. I saw that got announced today too, so
Direct storage for Windows.
yeah, I guess that's another thing I got spoiled about.
Data from storage to GPU memory. With NVIDIA RTX I/O, vast worlds will load instantly. Picking up where you left off will be instant. This is a very big deal for next generation gaming.
But yeah, you know consoles are going to end up supporting this then, because obviously Microsoft made a standard API for it. At the very least, the Xbox probably going to
This
support
trailer
it.
is
So
called Scenes of Cyberpunk RTX. It shows ray trace reflections,
also a Cyberpunk demo.
shadows,
Okay.
ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2.0. Enjoy.
But yeah, I know a lot of people said, oh yeah, I'm going to upgrade my computer before this game because it's probably going to take a lot of power and shit. I can only imagine how much more power it would take if it uses RTX, so yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our new flagship GPU, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080, powered by Ampere, second generation RTX architecture.
So here's the GPU that we already saw leaked, essentially, what it looks like. Okay, well, they're showing a history thing first, I guess. I mean, this is a pretty good way to unveil it. Yeah, I will say, animation, pretty damn impressive. Let's see. I love that they pixelate everything. I'm definitely curious how improved the NVIN encoder is going to be if there is any improvements this time. And yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. When I saw this in the leak, like it's got fans on both sides, which I don't think anybody's ever done that. It's usually 2 fans on the same side or only 1 fan. Or 3, but you know, never on both sides. I will say I definitely like the look of the GPU. Of course, I wouldn't be getting it because, well, not only is it too expensive, but also the fact that, you know, nobody buys reference cards because they're usually way more expensive.
RTX 3080. I have one right here. Let me show it to you.
And of course, the other ones are manufacturer ones are usually pre-overclocked. Oh, sneaky! Just had it hidden back there the whole time.
Beautiful. Look at this. The RTX 3080. It is wonderfully crafted. It's going to look beautiful in your PC, and it lights up. Now let me.
I mean, of course it fucking lights up. It wouldn't be a fucking gaming part if it didn't light up.
The fastest memories at that time. The industry thought that was the limit. For Ampere, we had to push through that limit. Working with Micron, we designed the world's first memory.
Hello, Pone House TV.
Pulse amplitude modulation, with 4 voltage levels that encode 2 bits of data each, 0001, 1011. Each voltage step is only 250 millivolts. So in the same period of time, G6X can transmit twice as much data as G6. PAM4 is extreme signaling technology, and it's just becoming used in high-speed networking. The Ampere thermal architecture is the first ever flow-through design, working harmoniously with PC chassis cooling system, pulling
it
in
definitely looks
from
interesting.
the outside, flowing through the GPU, and pushing hot air straight out the chassis. To allow room for a fan to flow air directly through the module, our engineers architect a super dense PCB design that is 50% smaller than previous, while adding the bigger Ampere GPUs, HDMI 2.1, PCI Express 4.0, and G6X. There are 2 independently controlled fans. The bracket front fan pulls cool air from the bottom and pushes the heat.
I mean, considering the pricing, which they haven't shown yet, but I did get kind of spoiled about.
Passes through the ends of the heat pipe and directs the hot air to the top.
And I mean, like I was mentioning before you came in, like the reference cards are usually the more expensive anyway, so you know it might be cheaper, you know, once manufacturers start making their designs. But like,
It can cool.
I don't know if it's gonna be worth it though. It's like it'll be way faster than the current GPUs, but if it's like triple the damn price, nobody would want to buy it.
A significant technology advance is needed to inspire content developers to create the next level of content, and for the install base to upgrade. Let's see how the 3080 stacks up to previous generation architectures on the latest graphics-intensive games. 3080 is faster than 2080 Ti. 3080 is twice the performance of 2080 at the same price. Ampere is the biggest generational leap
Okay,
we've ever
that's not that bad, but remember that there is going to be the upgraded ones.
RTX 3080. Our
This is
new
not their,
flagship
yeah, it's
GPU.
flagship, but not their highest end card.
Our second generation RTX.
Because there's going to be the 3090 or 3080 Ti or whatever they decide to call it.
RT ray tracing core and tensor core for processing AI. 10 gigabytes of G6X, twice the processing power of 2080. And at the same price, starting at $699. Available September 17th.
I mean, it's still expensive compared to like the 1080, but
the 70 series. 970, 1070, 2070 were all hugely popular. You're going to love the new RTX 3070. Faster than the 2080 Ti, the Turing enthusiast GPU priced at $1,200.
okay, so yeah, maybe the leaks or whatever aren't as great, you know,
RTX 3070.
weren't as true, but yeah.
Let me show it to you.
Okay, so that one's still got a front
20 shaded
design.
teraflops,
Okay.
40 RT teraflops, and 163 teraflops tensor core for AI.
So basically, it looks like
with
the
8 gigabytes of
essentially
graphics.
upgrades from the previous generation
RTX
ones
3070 is
are about the same
faster
price,
than
but the
$1,200
freaking 3090, where that's rumor, is going to be like way fucking more.
starting at $499.
Still on my price range though, because I would begin like the,
Every
you know,
generation,
30,
we pack in
50,
our best
30,
ideas
60,
to
whatever
increase
they want to call it.
while introducing new features that enhance image quality. Every couple of generations, the stars align, as it did with Pascal, and we get a giant generational leap. Pascal was known as the perfect 10. Pascal was a huge success and set a very high bar. It took the super family of Turing to meaningfully exceed Pascal on game performances without ray tracing. With ray tracing turned on, Pascal, using programmable shaders to compute ray triangle intersections, fell far behind Turing's RT core. And Turing with ray tracing on reached the same performance as Pascal with ray tracing off. On a technical basis, this was a huge achievement. The images are far more beautiful, and reflection and shadow artifacts are gone. But gamers wanted more. They want every generation to be more realistic and higher frame rate at the same time. So we doubled down on everything. Twice the shader, twice the ray tracing, and twice the tensor core. The triple double. Ampere knocks the daylights out of Pascal.
Oh, it says FPS on. Like, why would you ever want FPS off?
Crushes Pascal on frame rate. To all my Pascal gamer friends, it is safe to upgrade now. Amazing ray tracing games are coming. Activision and developer Treyarch are launching a new Call of Duty on November 13th. It's a masterpiece and it looks incredible. There are dynamic lights, ray tracing, shadows and ambient occlusion, DLSS 2.0, and NVIDIA Reflex super low latency technology. The last Call of Duty sold an amazing 30 million copies. Activision put together this trailer of never before seen footage. Enjoy.
But yeah, again, like with the other, the opening night live stream, I just don't care that much about COD, so, Like, I mean, visually, yeah, it does look fine, but,
Let me talk to you about one more thing. Several years ago, we started building the Titan, pushing the GPU to the absolute limit to create the best graphics card of that generation. It was built in limited quantities only through NVIDIA. The distribution was limited. The demand surprised us. Creatives were making 4K movies, rendering cinematics. Researchers built workstations for data science and AI. Bloggers built broadcast workstations. Flight and racing simulation fans built sim rigs.
yeah, it's kind of pointless to buy a Titan. You just don't need, you know,
a giant
Titans.
GPU that is available all over the world. So we made a giant Ampere. Ladies and gentlemen, the RTX 3090.
So this is the one that's rumored to have the really fucking expensive pricing. I wonder how fucking, oh god, is this gonna be a joke?
Come here to Papa.
Okay, maybe not, but yeah, it's still pretty big. I always thought they were gonna pull like a massively huge one as a joke, but
A BF GPU. 30
GPU, god damn it.
teraflops. 69 RT
You
teraflops.
really gotta call it the big fucking GPU.
85 tensor teraflops. And it
God
comes
damn it,
with a
NVIDIA.
massive 24 gigabytes of G6X.
$1,500, yeah.
A 3-slot dual axle flow-through design, 10 times quieter, and keeps the GPU 30 degrees.
I guess, like, they're saying, like, oh yeah, you know, replacement for Titan, but, like,
The 3090 is so
technically,
good.
you know,
The very first time,
they aren't saying there's a 3080, you know, Ti or whatever, so.
8K. This is insane. Because it's impossible for us to show you what it looks like on the stream, we invited some friends to check it out. Roll the clip.
Okay.
This is Andy and this is Tim. Woo!
I've never been more excited to do it.
Also, I know who that is.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Fucking Tim Geddes from Kinda Funny.
this is f***ing incredible.
That's who they are, people. I don't know who the fuck they are, but
The resolution on this is silly.
My God! You can see wear and tear on the treads.
Look at this. Why is it so detailed? All right. Move fast and shoot things.
This is 8K, sir. I can see everything. Oh, I need.
Actually, wait.
Not a whole lot of
I
people
think the
have
one
seen
is.
something like this.
This is so realistic. I feel like I'm really.
I think I know who the other one is too, but I was thrown off by the.
I want to
Dude.
look at the pretty things.
I'd say, is that Adam Sessler?
Dude, the ray tracing is insane on this.
These are the sizzle reels that you see,
This is basically hacks.
and then it's like it'll never look like that, but it does.
I'm like looking across the vistas, the grand vistas that are happening right now.
Holy shit! Look at this.
This feels
Yeah,
like
it sounds like Adam Sessler, but doesn't necessarily look like him, so I don't know.
Oh, it's smooth as
But I
shit.
mean, obviously,
I can't believe it's not.
could just have grown a beard because, you know,
There's no other way to put it.
it's quarantine, so.
My mind is blown, dude.
Wow.
It's been 20 years since the NVIDIA GPU introduced programmable shading. The GPU revolutionized modern computer graphics. Developers jumped on and invented clever...
But yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't buy that because, like,
realistic materials.
you know, I'm sure it is the highest end and stuff, but, like, I think a 3080 would be fine for most people. Heck, even a 3070 might be fine for most people. And I definitely would not spend more than a whole computer in itself on just the GPU.
100,000-fold. Gaming became a powerful technology driver. Gamers grew to billions, and gaming pushed into all aspects of entertainment and culture. If the last 20 years was amazing, the next 20 will seem nothing short of science fiction. Today's Ampere launch is a giant step into...
Basically, they rebranded from Titan, but just like the Titan cards, it's like, yeah, it's something most people don't need and shouldn't buy.
NVIDIA RTX, fusing programmable shading, ray tracing, and artificial
How much time do we got left?
realistic graphics and the highest frame rates
Hey, so yeah,
at the same time.
looks like I am a bit too far ahead now,
Ray tracing is now the standard.
because I'm doing another event after this, which is a live concert
NVIDIA Reflex to improve
I'm
your
watching,
response
so.
time. NVIDIA Broadcast turns any room into a studio. And Omniverse Machine...
Hey, it gives me time to fix everything, I guess.
We are super pleased with 3070, 3080, and 3090, the first three members of the Ampere generation. You're going to feel a boost like never before. I can't wait to go forward 20 years to see what RTX started. Homes will have holodecks. We will beam ourselves...
Homes will have holodecks, goddamn.
traveling at the speed of light.
Will it, though?
Photons, not atoms. In this future, GeForce is your holodeck, your lightspeed starship, your time machine. In this future, we will look back and realize that it started here. Thank you for joining us today, and to all of our fans for celebrating the arrival of Ampere.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, overall, I will say it's actually better than I was expecting. Also, I didn't realize they had a separate 4K version of the stream, but, I mean, not that I would have done that anyway, because, well, obviously, trying to stream while streaming a 4K video would probably be a bit of an issue. Also, hello, Linus. But yeah, this starts in, like, 4 minutes. The stream starts, but the actual thing doesn't start for a bit, so. But yeah, I guess let me go ahead and do what I did earlier, where I'm going to temporarily stop the stream so I can split the VOD.